Welcome to Soul Stories. Welcome to Soul Stories. A place where every story is an invitation. And every invitation is a step towards home. Once in a while, a story finds us at exactly the right moment. It slips past a busy mind and settles gently, and sometimes disturbingly within the soul. Perhaps this is such a story. Welcome. There was once a village where every child carried a small lantern. No one knew where the light came from. It simply appeared when a child laughed, wandered through the forest, drew strange creatures in the dust, or asked questions that had no answers. The elders would smile and say, "Guard your lantern well. It will show you the way through life." For many years, the children believed them. Then, as the seasons passed, the world became increasingly busy. Teachers taught them how to colour within the lines. Merchants showed them the value of efficiency. Leaders praised certainty over curiosity, and success became measured by the speed with which one reached the next destination. One by one, the lanterns were placed inside cupboards for safekeeping. "You have no need for these now," people would say. "There are other more important things to do." At first, no one noticed the difference. The roads became straighter, the houses became stronger, the clocks became louder, the village prospered. Yet something almost impossible to describe slowly disappeared. Songs grew quieter. Laughter became polite. Gardens were planted in perfect rows, though very few people stopped to admire the flowers. Evenings filled with light from windows, yet the stars seemed further away than anyone remembered. Years passed. One autumn morning, an old traveller entered the village carrying nothing but a weathered walking stick. He greeted the people warmly, yet many hurried past, too occupied to notice. Finally, he asked a woman drawing water from the well, "Tell me, where have all the lanterns gone?" She looked puzzled. "What lanterns?" "The ones every child once carried." The woman searched her memory as though listening for a distant melody. "I had one once," she whispered. "At least, I think I did." The traveller nodded gently. "Then perhaps it is still waiting." Word spread quickly that the old man was asking strange questions. Some dismissed him, others laughed, yet a few found themselves wondering why such a simple question stirred something deep within them. That evening, the traveller gathered those who wished to listen. He told no grand philosophy. He simply shared stories of forests that spoke to those who wandered without maps, rivers that changed course when greeted with gratitude, birds that sang forgotten songs whenever someone paused long enough to hear them. As he spoke, something remarkable happened. Faces softened, eyes brightened. People remembered games they had not played for eons. A woman recalled painting wild flowers across a stone wall before anyone had told her what belonged together. A carpenter remembered carving tiny animals from scraps of timber, simply because they made him smile. An old teacher confessed she had once dreamed of being a poet. Then silence settled over the gathering, for somewhere deep within the village came the faintest glow. One person stood, then another. Without speaking, they walked toward the abandoned storehouse at the edge of the square. The door creaked open. Dust drifted through the moonlight. There, upon countless forgotten shelves, rested hundreds of lanterns. None had gone out. Each still carried a quiet flame. One by one, the villagers lifted them into their hands. The light did something unexpected. It did not make them younger. Their wrinkles remained. Their grey hair remained. Their years remained. Yet the light reveals something age had not taken from them. Wonder. The traveller smiled. The child was never lost, he said, only waiting. When dawn arrived, the village looked much the same. The roads had not changed. The houses still stood. Work still needed doing. Yet children and elders now walked together. Sometimes they paused to watch clouds become dragons. Sometimes they followed butterflies without asking where they were going. Sometimes they laughed for reasons no one could explain. The lanterns themselves became ordinary once again, carried quietly through daily life. People discovered that wisdom and wonder were never rivals. They belonged to the same journey. The lantern shone a little brighter when walked with wonder, lighting the path home, not to childhood, but to the living, awaiting soul. Stories have a curious way of finding us. Sometimes we recognise ourselves in them before we recognise ourselves in life. If this story stirred something within you, resist the temptation to analyse it too quickly. Instead, spend a little time in creative expression. Take a blank page and ask yourself, where is my lantern? When did I place it on the shelf? What gives it light? What part of me has been patiently waiting? What would happen if I carried it with me tomorrow? Don't worry or concern yourself about creating art. Draw, write, paint, collage, move, or simply sit quietly with these questions. Let the image lead you rather than your thinking mind. The soul often speaks in symbols long before it speaks in words.